This conference will now be recorded.
Hey Grace, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Sorry, I was finishing
I'm
off
good.
a call.
No, no worries.
Hi, everyone.
Okay.
Hi, Grace.
Kathy. Hey, Kathy.
Okay, where did we stop the other day? So we saw the rest clock
Yes.
change process. Did we complete?
Process. You just said briefly, but we
Yeah.
didn't start it there.
CR form we saw.
No.
No, I think we stopped here until CR form, and then we thought we'll do the execution next class. Isn't it right? If not, we can go through the CR form again.
Yeah, CR form, I don't remember.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Sure. Sure. Let's do that. Okay. So give me a minute.
Yeah, I missed the last class and I did not get a chance to get the recording either. I was trying to do it, but I didn't get a chance. And yeah, on last Friday, I don't know what happened. My internet went off.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. And you got the recording from the team?
Yes, I got the recording. I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay, okay. Please, no,
I
some
think you had
time
a
to go.
session on Saturday with somebody. I got the message for that also. On the weekend, you had a class on the weekend with.
That was a week earlier. That was for Grace.
Oh,
Okay, fine. So change process. So in projects, usually there will be frequent changes that will be coming up, right? Which will which will incur, excessive costs for budget, scope, quality, and time. And as a project manager, you try to eliminate as much of this cost as possible with a detailed plan. You'll come up with a detailed plan to eliminate this. But a good project manager is also not stubborn with and will adapt to change. Right? Basically, it is your responsibility. That is, it's the project manager's job to limit the need for change on one hand, and on the other hand, to efficiently manage the changes in a way that the project could benefit, right? So that's what you need to focus on. First is where what we have been doing in the so far is limiting the potential changes through comprehensive planning, right? By using the method that we have been discussing, no, that is uh, any PMs or any project managers, there will be some gaps. You will miss few details. in the execution phase, and you will need to make many changes as you progress. We are all not perfect. There will be few gaps and things will be missed, right? So if you do need to make changes, though, you as a project manager, you should implement a change control process before moving to execution phase. It must be agreed how to manage change, and as to with most parts of the planning, a process needs to be established for change control process, meaning whenever a change comes in, what has to be done, that process has to be established, right? The thing that will that will start the process is a change being requested. It all starts with change being requested, right? And that request needs to be analyzed first. What are the benefits of the change? What is the need? What is needed in order to implement the change, and what is its impact on the project. Of course, a formal document must be created to collect this data called a change request form, which I'll show in the next slide. And you as a project manager, you must understand the proposal, fill in the form, and then send it for approval, right? Who will the PM send the change request form to? It would be project sponsor, because the project sponsor is the one who is giving the money, of course, right? So since the project sponsor has provided the needed resources, they should be the one who will be determining if the additional needs are worth it. And you, as a project manager, you know uh, and if you have concluded that the change will benefit the project, then they must they must kind of convene the same has to be convened to the project sponsor, and you have to convince the project sponsor for the required change, be it cost, time, or whatever it is. So that's the change process. So it would be like this. When are you requesting the change? What is the change number in case you are following some change number format? Description, what is the change all about? Reason, why do we need this change? How would this impact the change? And how would it impact our timelines? How would it impact our budget? Any other impacts? And who has requested this change? And finally, who is approving this change, and has it been approved or not? So this is how a change request form looks. Okay. Any questions on change request?
I'm good.
Yeah, no question.
Okay.
No question.
Okay. Now, so whatever we saw until this point, it was all on the planning phase. Now next, let's move to the execution phase. Meaning, during development, what would be your responsibilities is what we'll try to understand. Okay. So when it comes to execution phase, so execution phase starts with the kickoff meeting. It starts with a kickoff meeting which you will be scheduling, and finally it finishes with the delivery of the last deliverables. Meaning, maybe all the deliverables will be delivered here. The main activities during the execution are working on the scope, tracking the progress, how are we doing, monitoring quality and resource usage, and meaning, is the product quality good that is being developed? Is the resources being utilized as per expectation, or is the resources underutilized, or is the resources overburnt? That would be tracked. And watch out for risks and issues, conflicts within the team. And if there are any risks or issues, any conflicts within the team, that would be tracked again. Okay, these are few things we need to keep in mind. And remember, time is not on our side. Yeah, always time is against us, so we need to keep that also in mind. So we cannot take
Yeah, I agree with that
our
one.
yeah. So we cannot take our own sweet time to execute. So keeping time in mind, we have to kind of think of other things, right? So let's try to understand more as we progress. Any questions on this slide?
No, thank you.
Okay. So next is the kickoff meeting objective. So I told you will have a kickoff meeting, right? What do you do in a kickoff meeting? First thing is validate project plans. That is, you go through the plans one by one. You go through the plans one by one. Whatever you have created during the planning phase, you will go through that one by one and explain and answer questions anyone could raise. Right? Anyone has, there might be queries coming in. Hey, why this work here? There and this work might need more time. With your plan, it might be less time. So such debates and questions might come. You give you kind of tackle those, answer the questions anyone could raise, and you can also ask if it's okay to validate it and move to the next topic, and as you progress. And if someone refuses to agree, understand why, understand if there are any expectations and not discussed so far. Basically, maybe there might be slight gaps here and there, right? So for that, you discuss and see what best works for what best works, be it your perspective and the team's perspective. So try to utilize that thing. Okay. And then agree project governance and validation points. Meaning, discuss how will the deliverables be approved, who will approve it, and how will the overall project be approved as completed. Who will sign off? Who will sign off? When do you say the project is complete? When do you say the first phase is complete, second phase is complete, like that, right? So those definitions has to be done here. That governance has to be built. Define the success criteria and who will approve the project completion. Usually this would be the client or project sponsor. The success criteria has to be defined. When do we say a project is successful? That has to be defined. And agree how often the project manager has to provide update on the status of the project. So be it weekly, bi-weekly to the management, right? It can be bi-weekly, it can be weekly, it can be 2 times in a week. Agree upon that, how often update is needed, or if it's within the team, or you as a project manager, if you want to give update to the internal team, then how often do you want to connect? Those things can be defined here. Okay, and then promote the project. Do your best to have the client and senior stakeholders satisfied after the meeting. Meaning, try as much as possible to get that impression that okay, this project is crucial and critical, and get that attention to your project, right? So that attention is really important, and to make sure your stakeholders and the clients are satisfied after the meeting as per your plan. They should be happy with the plan. They should see so that okay, things are well laid out, and that is what you want, and you want them to talk good things about your project. That's about promoting the project. Okay, this is what happens in a kickoff meeting. Objectives of kickoff meeting. Okay, so but how do you go about kickoff meeting? We'll see. Any questions here?
No
No?
questions.
Okay. Okay, next is kickoff meeting delivery. That is how do you go about it. So, as we told earlier, what is the purpose of kickoff meeting? The purpose is to announce the start of the project. It's like flagging of the project, and to ensure that everyone is familiar with the details and with the people working on it. Meaning, everyone should know what the project is all about, who is who, and who is doing what, and whom can I approach for if I have any issues. So everyone will know about this. That's the main intention of kickoff meeting. So how do you go about it? You will first schedule the kickoff meeting, and before the kickoff, if needed, with few of the stakeholders, maybe few leads, if needed, have a pre-kickoff meeting. Okay, have a pre-kickoff meeting, and definitely you need to have some presentations showcasing what are the things that is planned for at this point, right? And introduce everyone in the meeting. So as much as possible, at least at the lead level, introduce everyone in the meeting, and give a brief about the project, what the project is all about, and promote the project. Meaning you need to promote the project as you progress, as I told in the previous slide, right? So promotion of project is really important. And agree project governance and validation points. Same thing. So who is responsible for what? Who needs to approve what? and whom can I approach for what reason, any reason, right? So such governance and validation points, or sign offs. When should a sign off be done by QA? When should a sign off be done by development? When should we go for deployment? All such things would be agreed upon here. Agree on project reporting in case if there are any reporting kind of things that would be agreed upon. And finally wrap up and follow up. Okay, this is what happens in kickoff meeting. Okay, any questions here?
Nope.
No questions.
Good.
Okay, next is, now you as a project manager, excuse me, give me a minute, let me have a sip of water. Yeah, now you as a project manager, you need to take care of two things. One is achieving the goal, that is work wise, and second is managing the people, which is pretty challenging, right? You need to balance both of this. So uh, you need to plan in such a way that you are not over pushing people just to get the work done, or you are not putting too much work on people, right? So work wise, you try to get as much as details on what's happening in the project and everything, and then update the project management plan and project documents, meaning you keep updating the plans, whatever schedules, Gantt charts, work breakdown structures, activity list, all these things you keep up to date as and when we progress. If there are any changes, you keep updating that and implement the changes. In case if there are any changes, you get that implemented. Okay, and then, excuse me, when it comes to people, no, you should be available to people whenever needed. Be at the service of the team and help them get the work completed. Anything that they need from you, any licenses that they need from you, any funding they need, any help, any kind of help that might be needed. Be at there, you know, be approachable and remove roadblocks. Make sure you are removing roadblocks for the team so that the work is happening smoothly, and work is happening smoothly, and kind of you know um, uh, s- if you are helping to remove the roadblocks, it will help you to ultimately reach the end goal on time. That's the main intention, right? And ensure a common understanding of the project among the stakeholders. Make sure everyone understand the project, what it is all about, and make sure everyone is on the same page. It's not like you have a different understanding and the whole development team has a different understanding, right? Then what will happen? You will expect something to be delivered, but at the end of the day, the dev team might deliver something else. So make sure everyone there is a common understanding among everyone, and keep everyone focused and informed. Yeah, make sure you are keeping everyone focused and informed. And how do you do that? Uh, know when to inform what to the team members, or when to inform what to team leads, who has to know what information, that you should be able to decide and share information accordingly, right? So yeah, make sure you are keeping the team focused and informed. Okay, these are a few things that you as a project manager, you have to tackle between the work and people in your project. Of course, when it comes to people perspective, Scrum Master would be there to help you, support you, and in terms of work, the business analyst or product owner would be there to support you. Okay, so if support is definitely needed, so yeah, these are the two roles who can help you in each of the uh, you know each of the activities that you will be doing. They should be able to help you. Okay, any questions here?
questions.
No questions? Okay. We'll move on. Yeah. Now, so how does a project manager's typical day look? So we'll start with two things. Yeah, you must start the day by looking at two things. Detailed project plan. Of course, you look at the you look at the Gantt chart and see where we are currently. Okay, you look at the graph and say where we are currently. Okay, so what is going on currently? Which phase are we in? And what's needed or what is needed? Is there anything needed from my side? Things like that, right? So those would be kind of uh, gone through. Those would be gone through. Okay, so yeah, before this, uh, before going to the the manager's typical daily, I would like to highlight on a few other things. So about the managing the project work itself, right? So uh, you kind of supervise the critical path activities. You as a project manager, you need to ensure high productivity on the activities that's been done. If you get delayed on any of them, you delay in the overall project itself. So remember, you as a project manager, you need to put extra care on two things: productivity and readiness. What is productivity? Productivity of the ongoing activity. The work needs to progress at a good pace. You have to make sure the work has to move at a good rate. And in order not to get delayed, the productivity needs to be high enough to complete the work on time. But what is productivity? It essentially is the output you get out of the given input or the ratio between the two. Like maybe you can call it as output by input, right? And in project world, the what is output? Output is pieces of the scope, and the pieces of the scope and the input is essentially resources and time. So no, so you need to make sure the available time and resources will be decreasing, and scope will be becoming real. So you as a PM, you will need to maintain the productivity high, especially on the critical path. How to measure the productivity in projects? It will be again different for different projects. So scope is unique, right, for different projects, so it will be different. But if you take the same construction project, the productivity could be measured in uh, constructed stories per month, meaning how many floors did we construct per month, 2 stories per month built, or what it is. And in software development, this can be number of new functionalities programmed, like whenever it is. And you as a project manager, you need to ensure the rate is good. Okay. uh, so yeah, these are a few things I wanted to say before we move ahead. So yeah, project manager's typical diary, as I was mentioning, you will have details on currently what's happening, and what is the deadline that we are approaching, and what activities must start soon, right? And yeah, along with that, you'll have a project diary, that is the action log. So where you are kind of keeping all the open items or open action items. You'll follow up with the action item holders and get it closed based on the SLAs. Okay, based on the SLAs. So this is on project diary. Any questions?
Mm. How many, like, all the project managers should be working on at least multiple projects, right? So they have to take care of each project, each action item is different, action log is different, and then detailed project plan will be different for that. So what happens if they have multiple projects and multiple projects get stuck with something?
You mean to say a project manager working on multiple projects and
Yes.
having challenges in each of
On
those
all,
projects.
yeah.
So whatever we are discussing, we are always keeping one project in mind. But from project manager perspective, if project manager is handling multiple projects and getting stuck in multiple things in each of the project, then the project manager has to take a call. Okay, which project is more important for me? which project is giving me more revenue. So that you will prioritize things again there.
Hmm.
You will prioritize the project that's more critical or more you know in a critical juncture that rather than over the other project which has some time. So that way you need to prioritize. However, I wish and hope that project managers are not put into multiple projects. So at least in my organizations, I have not seen that happening. But not sure if you have
Yeah,
seen
we
that.
are here always like, multiple projects we are working on the
uh,
same time. And project
Same.
manager is the same for all the projects, like 3 projects or 4 projects, whatever is
Okay.
working.
Okay.
Because we are in research, so it goes for 10 years and 20 years. It's not like 1 year project that we
Uh-huh.
have researched something and the vaccine is here, you can take it. That's not thing. Like it takes
Uh-huh.
longer years. But then we have multiple projects. So like after so many years collecting from day zero to day after 5 years of study, like all the external items will be in the log, but then few might have completed, few might have not worked out. So it's getting long and long after some days, like some
Uh,
years, not some days,
okay.
like.
Okay. Okay. Understand. Sure. Sure. Okay. Great. Uh, yeah. Any other points or
Hmm.
any other questions?
No, I think no.
Okay. Increase. Sujat.
No, it's pretty clear.
Okay. Fine.
Picture.
So
I'm
we'll
good.
move on.
Thank you.
Project diary. You will have a project diary. I've shared the template with you all. So wherein you will have action that needs to be taken and who has to take that action? Is that you or is that BA or is that test lead, dev lead, whoever it is? Who has to take the action and due date by when this action has to be completed. So it's actually a supplementary to the project plan and is used to record actions which occur ad hoc and are not included in project plan. So if you have a structured Excel like this, let me open that. Let's see if I have it. So let's see if I have the diary. Project diary. Do you see it anywhere? Diary template. Yeah. I'm just trying to open that up. Yeah. So this is how a typical diary looks. Like what is the action, who is the owner, what is the due date, and what is the current status. So key like this you have list and you will follow up with these people as and when needed. Based on due dates, you will follow up with these people. Like for example, here I see an example like update projects scheduled to reflect a new duration of the recruit personnel activity and increase to 11 weeks. So looks like there's something that happened there. And maybe negotiate and sign an agreement with a new design agency in the next 2 weeks. So you'll have all the actions here and you'll put the owner. It can be you, the owner, or it can be any other stakeholders. If it is different stakeholders, make sure you're following up with them. Otherwise, if it's you, then make sure again you're following up by uh, with the record stakeholders. This is how a dairy, the typical dairy looks. Okay. Any questions here?
No.
Okay. Now coming to characteristics of a project dairy, right? So yeah, action log it's a formal document, and you as a project manager you must be clear to the project team members when an action is added for them, right? Because you will assign it to the team members. You cannot just leave it there. That person should know, okay, there is an action item on me, so that he or she can take action, right? So yeah, such things can be put, And project manager must make it clear to the project team members when action is needed for them. Yeah, that kind of communication should be there. And the team members need to commit to each action logged against their name. Yeah, whatever the action items that each of them have, make sure they are on it and closing it as per the due dates or timelines that you have provided. Okay, these are a few characteristics of project diary. So seeing it again. Sorry. Yeah, so just comparing. So you will know when to take actions and things, and team members has to be commit. So based on that, the owners would be assigned here. The owners would be assigned based on the commitment. The owner would be assigned here, and then the status would be there. Okay. Any questions?
Nope.
No. Okay. How about others?
I'm good.
Okay, fine. This is done. Yeah. Example I just showed, right? The action law. Sorry, project diary example. It's the same thing. And then manage people. Now, how do you manage different kinds of people? Like, project team, stakeholders are two different kinds of people. Project team is more like internal, stakeholders are like external mostly. So you need to handle these two people in two different ways. It cannot be the same way that you treat each of them, right? It should be in a different way. So before the project, during the project, or after the project, how do you work with the project team? So before the project, make sure you prepare adequately the team on the kind of work that's coming, and what is the technology that has to be used, and you prepare adequately the team. And during the meeting, you lead and continue, correct and make changes if necessary, and motivate. So during the project, you always try to lead the team, coordinate with the team, and correct and make changes if necessary, and motivate. These are three things that you do during the project. And after the project, definitely you need to give feedback. So all those people who have done good work, that feedback should be provided. And also congratulate each and everyone on the successful completion of a project. Okay. So these are few things that a project team, you know, you as a project manager, you have to work closely with the project team on these terms. When it comes to stakeholders, you have to make sure you are providing regular updates, and establish and follow agreed communication channels. Make sure you are communicating effectively and efficiently via whatever communication channel that's been agreed upon, and be proactive in the communication. Meaning, make sure you are keeping the stakeholders or sponsors or everyone, right? Yes, make sure everyone is updated end to end on regular basis. And yeah, will be proactive in communication. Make sure you are kind of initiating the conversations with the stakeholders, and making sure the conversations are really helpful, right? And yeah, keep key stakeholders engaged. Make sure all the key stakeholders engaged in the project by sending regular updates, adding them to the regular calls if needed. So all those things. Make sure you keep the stakeholders engaged, and be the first one to deal with bad news, or you may lose your credibility. If there is a bad news, make sure you are the first one, you tell it to the stakeholders. If the stakeholders gets to know from a different source, then there's a problem for you, because it's you who has to communicate, right? So make sure these things are followed, and engage the stakeholders as much as possible and keep them informed. Okay, this is on managing people in terms of project team and stakeholders. Any questions here? Any questions? No?
All right, now.
No. Fine. So these are managing people. But this is all on the execution piece of it. Next is the monitoring and control phase, which maybe we'll start discussing tomorrow. We'll continue with monitoring and control tomorrow. Okay, where here this is where certain calculations, certain formulas, and everything comes into picture. We'll discuss on those things tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else before we close for today? Kathy, Grace.
No, I'm good. Thank you, Rajiv, for asking.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm good.
fine.
Thank you, Reggie.
Okay. So then we'll all catch up tomorrow. Thank you.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Bye. Bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye.